Yo, what is going on, ladies and gents? It's your boy LAFC back again with another transfer rumors special, and today we're going to run over a few that I've seen over in the newspaper articles over the last week or so. Some have been quite, have actually popped up on the surface a lot, over the last week or so. A lot have been talked about. Some haven't really been talked on, but let's just jump straight into it. Now, obviously Chelsea are having a little bit of worries this season. I know they are sitting third, 1 point away from second, but obviously Conte wants to make a lot of changes towards the side. Obviously hasn't been as good as what we'd hoped it to be, but it looks like Wilfried Zaha has actually been a strong link to Chelsea, which is actually quite crazy. He is 25 years of age, so he's still quite young. He's going more in towards his prime now, and he wasn't a Manchester United player, but was never really given too much of a shot. He's actually showing a lot for Crystal Palace, and if Crystal Palace do stay up, I do believe it would be 90% of this man. He's got a lot of skill, he's got a lot of talent, he's got a lot of passion as well, so, and especially for playing for Crystal Palace, so it takes a lot. So it would be awesome if Wilfried Zaha could join Chelsea. As a Chelsea supporter, I'd be absolutely stoked, because I think Pedro and Willian's careers at Chelsea would be coming to an end very, very soon. I think either within the next season or two, but either or, I think due to injuries, Zaha may not come through to Chelsea because he is quite injury prone, and we can't really afford to have, good players injured all the time. But who knows? You never know. I think you'd go for around 30 million. Nothing really stated in the newspapers. For some reason, a lot of the articles that are being written at the moment haven't been forecasted to have, the amount that they're going for. So it's a bit strange. Whether they're made up or not, that might be the whole story. But if Zaha did leave Crystal Palace, I think, Chelsea would probably buy it for 35 million. So moving on to another guy here, we got Jonny Evans. Now, I'm not a fan of him at all. I know a lot of people are, especially Man United fans. Apparently, he might actually return to Manchester United, because Manchester United are, one of the greatest teams in the world, obviously, still sitting second right now. I really thought they were going to win the Premier League this year, but obviously not, the other side of Manchester. But nonetheless, Jonny Evans on a return to Manchester United would be pretty crazy. He's shown a lot of form, at West Brom, I think captaining the side as well, which is quite crazy. But I think Manchester United are starting to worry a little bit, because their backline, seems to get injured a lot, because they've got a lot of players who are injury prone. I think Bailly's out for quite a while now. Smalling is usually quite injury prone as well, and then it just leaves it up. So, and then obviously Tuanzebe is one of the players that can replace, but obviously they're going to be looking at really young players. So I think Manchester United are going to have to look into the transfer market for another defender, and Jonny Evans might want to come back to Man United. Obviously playing for a prestigious club as Manchester United, I'd go back as well if I was Jonny Evans, but who knows? Maybe Jonny Evans might not go back due to game time, knowing that he might not play every game and start every game. So another defender who I want to mention as well, going back to Chelsea. Now, this has been a big debate which has been going on at the moment. I can get really heated talking about it. It's my favourite player. It's David Luiz, and I believe that what happened with Conte is real, and I believe it's Conte's fault. I think Conte should grow up. I think he should do his job properly. You've got a world-class centre-back sitting on your bench, and he's doing nothing. I think that's just absolutely ridiculous. I think, if in the modern day world where you do something wrong at work, you man up, you own your mistakes, and you get over it and you learn by it. With football, it's different, because if you make a mistake, you usually don't get a chance, or you don't get to build a fucking wall and get over it. So I think Conte's got to grow up. I'm a little bit pissed off, because David Luiz is one of the best centre-backs in the world. We had the best partnership last year with Azpilicueta and David Luiz. Obviously Gary Cahill as well, but this year I know Christensen's showed a lot of potential, and a lot of been able to cement his spot in the side. But I think David Luiz is definitely needed to be in the squad, but he's linked to Real Madrid, and if I was David Luiz, I wouldn't be very happy. But obviously he loves Chelsea, everyone knows it, because when PSG came back to Chelsea, it was a bit different, and he was still a fan favourite, and he always will be a fan favourite. That geezer is great, but he's linked to Real Madrid, and I wouldn't be surprised if Real Madrid do snatch him up. He'll go for around 40-50 million. He's a world-class centre-back, and if he did leave, it would be an absolute disappointment for Chelsea. I'd be shocked, I'd be devastated, but let's really hope that doesn't go through. But if this does happen, I know it's going to be sad, and they're trying to cover it up with injuries, but I don't reckon he's injured. So, because look at last year, he played injured so many times last year. I don't believe he's injured at all. But moving on to another one, over the other side of Spain, we've got Antoine Griezmann, who's linked to Barcelona. Now, a lot of debate has been, coming up against Griezmann. He's also been linked to Manchester United. I think Juventus have slotted a spot in there as well. But apparently, believe it or not, so apparently the person who looks after Griezmann, so the scout, the agent who looks after Griezmann is actually his sister at the moment. And apparently she was spotted in a restaurant with the president of Barcelona, so which is a bit crazy. Considering the president of Barcelona is quite old and Griezmann's sister is actually very young. I don't think they'd be dating, so who knows? They could be just talking about a possible transfer. I can't really see Griezmann possibly going over from one side or the other. We've seen it happen before, but it would be pretty crazy. At least it's not Real Madrid to Barcelona, so I don't think in this day and age it would happen too much. But Griezmann to Barcelona would be absolutely crazy. I really think that Ousmane Dembele wouldn't stand a chance then. But obviously they do need replacements because De La Feu is playing a lot more. But who knows? He'd probably go for around 150 million now in this market. So if Atletico Madrid did get rid of Antoine Griezmann, they'd be getting it for quite a big price tag. But they got Diego Costa coming in the summer, so things will be even more interesting whether Griezmann will leave, because Griezmann's price drop will drop, I believe, 35% by the end of the season instead of January. So if they want to get the most out of it, if I was Atletico Madrid and want the money, I'd be taking it now. So another one which is a really strange link, and we've got Theo Walcott, who's actually linked to go to Valencia. Now, Valencia have had an absolutely outstanding season, thanks a lot to Simeone ZAHA, and obviously Walcott in and out of the side. Injuries is a lot of a problem, but Walcott still has a lot of talent. He's a great man for football. He's great for the fans. He's basically great for the game. And obviously, Arsenal, I don't know what Wenger's doing. No one does. The Arsenal fans are sick of him. He's up and down. But anyway, he's linked to Valencia, and it'd be a crazy move for Valencia. I think he would absolutely slot perfectly. Seeing English players go over to Spain and Italy and all that, it's a bit different. But who's to say that they can't do it? So it's not very often that it does happen. If I was Walcott, I'd definitely go for it. Valencia's got a lot of potential to go higher. Obviously, they're challenging as it is now, but obviously they're not going to win the La Liga, but they can win one of the domestic cups. So I think if I was Valencia's president or the manager, I'd definitely be going for Walcott. He's got a lot of talent still. I know he's aging on a bit. He's in his prime. He's still fast. He still can shoot. Yeah, obviously, he can. He's a great player overall. He's an absolute beautiful player to watch. So go for it, I reckon. But that'll probably go for around 20-30 million. I can't see that going for too much. But knowing Arsenal, if they want money, they'll probably ask for it. So moving on to two other players now. Usually players go to the MLS towards the end of their careers. Obviously, seeing Pirlo, Lampard, Gerrard, all those guys, Del Piero. No matter what, they usually go to the MLS to bring the game up a little bit. Now we've got two rumours here. We've got the first one is Wesley Sneijder to go over to LAFC. Obviously, it would probably be on a free at the end of the season. Obviously, not enjoying his time at Nice very much. And obviously, I think he would, build the game a little bit more. Wesley Sneijder, big player, big World Cup player for Holland. He is a talent. He's a great passer for the ball. I think he'd fit in really well into the MLS, because obviously we've seen Pirlo do it. And even though Pirlo was really, really lazy, but you never know. I think it'd be a great move. It'd be a good move for the MLS as well. And another one is also BLASZCZYKOWSKI, which is also linked to Chicago Fire. Obviously, link up with Bastian Schweinsteiger, which would be pretty crazy. I think Schweinsteiger plays for Chicago. It'd be awkward if he doesn't. But overall, I think it'd be a good move for BLASZCZYKOWSKI. Maybe in a couple years' time, probably not at the moment. But I believe BLASZCZYKOWSKI's probably still got a few years left in him. But obviously, still in and out of the squad, being a squad rotation player. But overall, MLS can't complain. Whichever world-class players that they can get in, I think it'll grow the game a lot. I think the A-League needs to do the same, but that fucking stupid salary cap that's holding us back. But nonetheless, those are all the transfer rumours that I've spotted out on the web over the last few days. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a like. Let me know what you guys think. But I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.